Hello YouTube and welcome back to the channel here today. Today we have a little bit of a fun one. Today we're going to be reacting to, let me get a full title here actually, Tenku Danzai Skelter+Heaven. That's what we're going to be reacting to today, which may be a weird title for, I guess, the uninitiated. But before I get to that, I guess I should explain, like, where's, like, the real content? I don't know, man. I've been very tired this week. I've worked about 50 hours, or will have worked 50 hours by the end of tomorrow, so it's a lot of work. I didn't want to delay the weekend slot one more week, but I guess I have to. There will be something out next week unless something weird happens. What that is, I still don't know. There'll probably be a poll somewhere over the week which will explain things, or Discord or something. Anyway, no one cares. Today we're going to be watching this, and I'm just going to bring it up here. This one. Hello, Skelter+Heaven. I think Mal's probably the best way to do this, though I also have ANN up there as well, because Mal explains why I'm here. That's a very, very, very low Mal score. In fact, if I pop my thing over here, you'll see 13,131. I fucked up that number, but you know what I mean. And then I roll over here. That's the lowest score, bud. It doesn't get any lower than that. It averages like that between everybody that's watched it. And here's the thing, right? You would imagine there's been some like ironic, haha, I'm literally 16 years old voters that are like, oh, I gave it a 10 because fuck you, which helps nobody, by the way. Let's just see the company it keeps. That's Mars of Destruction, I believe, which is also considered pretty bad. Abonai Sisters, also pretty bad. Exarm, also pretty bad. Exarm's funny. I watched all of Exarm, so I can't do the Exarm thing. But yeah, like a lot of these are pretty bad, and almost infamously so. Like the only reason somebody would know the name Skelter+Heaven is because of its notoriety, because of how terrible it is. And I guess it will be a change of pace. I've often said on the channel that I haven't done anything that I would even remotely call bad. Like even, you know, I use a true 10-point scale. I would not put anything that I have watched on the channel below a 7. And it's a true scale, right? Like they're really good. I watch a lot of really good things on the channel. That's probably by design. I know what people consider good and people vote on them. So, like, sometimes democracy's okay. I'll shout out democracy there. So my point being, I think it'll be a change of pace for me to watch something that, let's face it, I'm probably going to not like. It may be funny. I may have a goofy time watching it. It may be good content. But would I ever recommend this to somebody in a vacuum? Hell no. I'm going to imagine that's going to be the case. And weirdly enough, despite its notoriety, I can't really tell you much about it. Looking at that cover there, I think it's a mech thing. I think. They definitely are well endowed, if you know what I mean. So is that an idea with it as well? The other thing that I did in my little searching around is discovered that this is like based on a game, basically. So there's a Japanese romantic adventure game developed by Idea Factory. It's on the PS2. That game came out the 25th of November 2004. Then the OVA came out like a couple weeks later. So it's a tie-in for a video game, right? That's the point. From what I can tell, and there isn't a lot of reviews out there from a cursory Google searching, it's fine. Like, it's not a terrible disaster. It doesn't have the same infamy of the anime, that's for sure. I should also say, yeah, it's an OVA. This was never on TV. This was an original video animation. I have no idea how it was released, but it wasn't on TV, which, again, I'll watch it and then I'll tell you if that's a good thing or a bad thing. If we pop over to ANN here as well, we can have a quick look at the staff, and I already did, and there's not much to say at all, really. Like, most of these guys I haven't heard of, and if I have heard of them, then they've made some stuff that isn't overly great. There was a pretty solid connection between this and Hyperdimension Neptunia, which I thought was interesting across the staff, but other than that, that's fine. People like Neptunia. It's not my thing, but anyway. I know that this person's like an actual voice actress, so if we go here and then we maybe Control F Haru here, we'll see a Yuki Nagato right? That's something. That is a VA that I recognized looking down the list. Something. Content. But I mean, the rest of this, and I don't know if I'm being stupid or not, I don't recognize anybody. It is what it is. Cool. I don't think that this is the type of show we should be deep diving in on the staff on. I don't think we're quite dealing with, Yuasa, Miyazaki, fucking Ikuhara, any of the people that I really, Nishio-sen, any of the people I really like to deep dive on. I don't think we're dealing with that here, let's be honest. And if you must know the copy of Skelter+Heaven that I have, I went to Nya, I looked up Skelter+Heaven. This was the only one that was subbed. I'll probably give you a name once I get the file up here. It's also obviously from 2004, so it's in 480p. So look forward to that as well. And I think I'm wasting a lot of time right now, so I should just jump into the thing and I guess watch it. Try to keep an open mind early, but with the caveat that I probably know this is going to be pretty bad. Let's be real. And hey, if we find this funny or cool or insightful or anything else in between, maybe we do it again. Maybe we just keep watching first episodes of things that are considered bad. I don't know. But again, I don't. These are fine, the shows that are like really considered bad. But when you start to like really shit on things that people actually like, that there is a fan base for, then it gets a little bit. I don't want to make that kind of video. Anyway, it's a bit of fun. Let's make it a bit of fun. But not without some chill stuff first. So if you like the video, consider liking the video. If you like the video and you want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel. Comment below. Anything you thought about the episode, anything I could do to improve my presentation, comment below. I'm doing follow for follow on Twitter, so follow me on Twitter if you'd like me to follow you back, and join that Discord if you want to vote in whatever poll will be up whenever. I honestly don't know. But I'm going to bring up the thing now and watch it. It's Tenku Danzai Skelter+Heaven. Please look forward to it. Rightio, I have Skelter+Heaven up there ready to go. 18 minutes and 57 seconds on this one, so sync up accordingly. I guess I didn't explain before as well. It's an OVA. This is singular. There's just this 19 minutes that I'm going to watch and then we're done. So that's kind of funny. I'll also do this and then right click for you so you can see what I have. It's called Skelter, and then the other one's called Wiet Profit something. So we're gonna go with the Skelter one, I think, not Speed. Hang on, there we go. We're gonna go with Skelter. So for the people that want to do that, you can do that. There will be a picture-in-picture version in the description below for those interested as well. And I'm just going to click play, and may God help my soul, I guess. Yeah, let's give it a 3, 2, 1. Radio. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. It's not filling me with a lot of confidence early. I guess, yeah, sci-fi mech thing, but also the game's like a romance thing. Anyway. They're using their time wisely, considering we only have 19 minutes. That's good. There's a heartbeat. There's some Darth Vader stuff going on. That's definitely the Earth as we know it. What are we doing? I don't know what we're doing. It looks pretty bad. It still looks like really bad. Okay, there's an unknown entity. Cool. Okay, some Evangelion type shit. JSDF. Okay. Cool. I think I also read that this is like Yuki Nagato's VA singing. Yeah, this is very game tie-in, huh? The subbing's actually really fun. Yeah, get this just a visual novel. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'm trash, but this song's kind of a hit. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I like the glasses one. She has a cool design. Alright, girls in mechs, sure. I'm imagining we play in the game or in this as some kind of like main character kun who's gonna tell them what to do. Like that guy. Hmm. Okay. I gotta remember 2004 for the CG too. Because the CG here is like, and maybe I'll eat my words, not that bad. Especially considering X-Arm, which came out in fucking 20 something. Yep. No, not the airborne entity. Hmm. Is that it? I have noticed there's not a ton of animation going on, like the 2D variety. Okay, it's pretty badly directed, but it's fine. That guy looks fine. There's interesting first shot there. Yeah. Okay. I don't know what anybody's deal is, so I'm kind of thrown in the deep end here. Hmm. That's pretty sourceless. I don't know. Okay, now what? There's just so much dead air too. Okay, let's go to the palatial mansion. Okay, she's the bow and arrow one. She's the archery one. Okay. Mm-hmm. Not abrupt cut at all. Okay. All right. Maybe I eat my words. That doesn't look great. Why are we training if the entity's here? Okay, now she's gonna come warn us. Yeah, stop mud wrestling with me in the mech. A bit of an etchy thing too, sure. Yeah, it's the giant stingray in the sky. Why are we showering? We gotta go. It's here. Okay. Why not shower, I guess? What is this? Huh? I've been baited. Okay, what is that? Alright. The editing is atrocious. Mm-hmm. Ooh. Thank you, Funagi. What are we gonna do? Sounds pretty simple. We're gonna kill it with a bazooka. What is this audio? Holy fuck. Somebody's just jamming on the keys. Okay, finally that stopped. Suspect. Okay. Tell you what, I don't like the, I guess, habits that the show has examined so far. And the presence of tentacles. I don't think that's great. I'm going to be real. Mm-hmm. I was meant to be the strongest. And it seems like there's a bit of drama here. Maybe that's better shown off in a visual novel format. It says romantic adventure game. Voice acting's horrendous. You're a loose cannon. This is the most cliched scene I've ever seen in my life. Okay. Sure. Harem moment. Alright, you're gonna do something stupid, maybe? Ensure you penetrate. Please take me to Skelter+Heaven. Pretty bad. I gotta think about some contemporaries for this to be able to compare it, really. I don't know. Maybe that's a later on job. Okay, no, don't lose confidence. Person, I don't remember your name. Okay, you're gonna tell him how you feel? Yeah, just repeat that animation, that's good. It was a different mech. Okay, so you're not just like sitting in the thing, you're in a plane? You're not just on the bridge? Okay. Sure. Why is there no music now? This animation too. Just like the 2 or 3 frames of the hair moving. Okay. There's a bunch of goo. Somebody got donked. Was that the loose cannon one? No, everyone's getting fucked up. Oh, man. Look at this guy. He's very smug. Yeah, the entity is here. What's it gonna do? I don't know. Something. No, not that guy. She loves to scream. Okay, so she kind of put herself in the way there. She's a synth? Maybe lead with that. That one's pretty important. What? Sure. What do you mean? Okay, sure. Whew. This guy sucks as well. Okay. Just the most shallow look at such an interesting idea, too. Eh? Back to screaming. Oh, so sure you guys don't want to do another take on that one? Did they make this in an afternoon? I'm gonna ram the weak spot with my unit? Damn, look at all these fun times we had. Wait. No, we didn't. I didn't have any of these fun times. Okay, no, just cut. That's fine. Just whatever you do, make sure that, like, no scene runs into the next scene. Oh, she finally told him how she felt. And he gave her nothing. Okay, sure. Why did he give her nothing? She just, like, confessed her love, like, basically on their deathbed. Nothing. The hell is a Skelter Titan? I mean, I can infer, but, you know. What the fuck's that? Ghosts? Damn, that is true. Oh. Evangelion at home. That's crazy. Mm-hmm. That was just because we cut the juice, and then it kind of gooed onto us, and now it died. But we kind of did like a weird dream sequence thing. Okay. Is there going to be any resolution to anything? Sure. So what did any of that mean? Huh? What are you talking about? What do you mean? What was that? Okay. I'm with you. Not this guy again. And now there's way more? Oh no, we need to get the Skelter people back. Okay, was it a cautionary tale? Okay. I don't know what to tell you guys. It was pretty bad. Weirdly enough, I think I get what the story is trying to say. But they're just giving me the cliff notes. I have to do all the heavy lifting up here because I've seen media before that does this stuff better. And great, we get another like bunch of the same shots as our ED. New ocean science and technology. Damn, so this is that 13 Sentinels thing you guys have been hyping up. I couldn't resist. I think the most strikingly bad thing is the editing by a long way. Editing and voice acting, both so bad. The worst I've ever seen. And I guess the amount of content needed to be covered in 19 minutes, which is actually more like 16 minutes minus opening ED. So thank you, Idea Factory. Yeah, we're going to have a relook on that one, and I'm going to tell you why I hated it so bad. It's really bad, by the way. Okay, so that was Skelter+Heaven, or whatever the other two words in it were that I'm forgetting. It was pretty bad. I know, shock horror, it's literally the worst rated thing on Mal. It turns out it's pretty bad. It wasn't bad in the ways I was expecting it to be bad, put it that way, right? Because I think it's very easy to, like, show a clip of, say, Exum, right? And say, this CGI is horrendous. What the hell are they doing splitting the frame? One half of it is 2D, one half of it is CG. What the hell are they doing? That's very easy to point and laugh at, right? Look at this shitty fight scene. You know, there's 12 episodes of it. There's not just 19 minutes. There's more to pick at and choose there. Again, it's pretty bad. But I think Skelter+Heaven is bad in a way that kind of needs to be kind of sat down and consumed all at once. Which is not hard because it's 19 minutes, but you can't really clip out the really bad spots. Well, maybe the one part with that one machine where they were bouncing up and down and then it cut randomly out of it to something else. Anyway, we'll get to it. But maybe the screaming's pretty bad too, and voice acting across the board, you can definitely clip those out. But it's the flow for mine that is the biggest detractor, let's say. The biggest culprit of why this is one of the worst things ever. You got to know how to edit. You have to, right? And I hope to go through a number of techniques that would hopefully smooth some of this stuff, at least a little bit. Music's definitely big for it. Voice acting, maybe a genuine narrator or something would help there as well for flow. Just have maybe like a little bit of a doodle when you're doing like a dream sequence or a vignette or something. Maybe some vignetting to distinguish that it's a dream sequence as well, that it's a memory, that it isn't happening in current times. Just a ton of little editing tricks that could be used to make this thing at least like passable, I think. The other elephant in the room, of course, is how much content and story we need to shove into literally like 15 minutes. I'm imagining this is a whole game's plot. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because I may be wrong on my Skelter+Heaven lore. This seems to be something where, okay, things are attacking Earth, whatever these things may be. I may get a more interesting visual up as well. Not that there's going to be a lot of interesting visuals, but give me something. Give me something. Give me something. Sure. One of these. Yeah, sure. It's clearly just Evangelion. There's entities attacking Earth. We need to get some group of people to get into mechs to protect Earth from whatever they may be. Again, I say Evangelion, but Evangelion was obviously inspired by a bunch of stuff before it, which I'm not particularly cognizant of. It's just my frame of reference is Evangelion. But it's like an ecchi version. It's clearly like a dating sim ecchi type thing. Harem, maybe. There's 5 girls. They're seemingly synthetic humans, which I'll talk about as well. And they just kind of get in the mechs, which have exposed midsections and breasts and stuff, and they fight. And again, they're not girls. Let's talk about this now. They're synthetic humans. They're the prototypes for whatever the synthetic human in the future may be. Clones, whatever you want to say, right? I think, again, this is more talking to the game, or whatever else this is based on, because there has to be something, right? This is like a transhumanist thing. At what point does a thing that isn't typically born the same way human life is born, what point does that cross over into becoming human as well? It looking and sounding like humans is a lot of the journey there, right? They look the part, they sound the part. Why can't they be the part? Is there some kind of intangible holding them back? I don't know, but if they can feel something like love, which has been displayed in this, then maybe they're okay, right? That's the general hook we're trying to get at. I think the moral of the story, if you want to say that, is that we used these synthetic humans for their combat prowess, as opposed to loving them and taking care of them and blah, 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 whatever else, right? Cool. That speaks to something, 2 sides of human nature, right? You could even go Freudian there if you really wanted to, right? I know I'm analyzing Skelter+Heaven using Freud, but then, listen, the just desserts of the people in the end, the JDSF, the just desserts there is that because they used them to commit acts of violence against whatever this thing may have been, a year later, a bunch of its bros came and now they're going to basically take over Earth, right? Whatever those alien dudes were, the entity. So in a very similar way to the synthetics, us humans, or the military-industrial complex, or whatever you want to say, right? They defaulted to the fighting thing instead of the loving thing, and then got more fight in return, as opposed to whatever else may have came of it. Cool. That is the story they are trying to tell. And I think we should go back to the start, and maybe I'll tell you why they don't succeed in telling such a story. Here's a hint. It's because it's like 15 minutes long, and I basically just spent 5 minutes giving you the cliff notes. So the first thing we have is what I'm guessing is a POV shot of the entity in question, right? There is a heartbeat. Maybe the same way that heartbeat is resonating with those humans down there, it's resonating within this thing right now. It's just looking for some friends. But here's the thing, right? You know what the rest of the story is. You don't have the luxury of doing a big intro like this. This thing isn't 24 episodes, dog. It's fucking less than 24 minutes. What do you think we're doing here? We can't do a cinematic intro in a thing like this, right? And I know you knew the constraints before you started. You needed to have, right? Otherwise, none of this makes any sense. It also looks like arse, but again, 2004? 2004, listen, okay. Maybe I'm being too forgiving of it. Because let's look up some things that came out in 2004 that have some pretty good CG. Don't ask me why, but I thought about Zoids a lot while watching this. Again, don't ask me why. Mecha connection, blah, 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 blah. The Zoids in this look so much better than the mechs. It's crazy, right? And this came out in 2001. Again, you got big companies behind them, so like, I don't know. I don't know how fair any of that is, right? But I guess what I'm trying to say is the technology was there, and for things that weren't especially critically acclaimed, let's say. Just like, this is just some tiger robots and stuff fighting. They're cool. But it's not going to blow your mind. It's clearly better than Skelter+Heaven. Like, come on. So yeah, as I was saying, this looks like Hog's Trollop. Let's watch a little bit more here. So now we zoom in on Earth. Presumably this is Tokyo or something of the like, right? We get a bunch of really blown out shots of just Tokyo streets. Tokyo has been evacuated, so there's no civilian presence. Hence, we don't need to animate any civilians as well. It's a Monogatari reference as well, not animating anyone in the backgrounds. I knew it was. And essentially it's a news broadcast that is often cut off from static and has this really tinny effect on it, right? It's like it's a radio broadcast coming through. I get what they're trying to do. probably just a little loud in the mix and a little bit abrupt. It's pretty harsh on the ear. So then from that, okay, no character presence at all, right? The only character that we get from any of that is the entity. But then again, we only learn that later. And now we're straight into an opening, hit with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 more characters. Cool, let's try to tell you some personality traits. You three? I got no clue. You basically got nothing. I think you got glasses, so you're probably nerdy. I cannot tell you a thing about these other two. Maybe she's cutesy. Your main character, Chan, and you're kind of annoying, and then you're jealous. That's basically all I got. Skelter+Heaven, you hold in your hand the power to save her soul from her body's pre-programmed fate. That's a bit of a mouthful, but sure. I kind of see where you're getting at that from the rest of the content of the OVA, sure. And yeah, clearly, like, through a lot of this, we're just using, like, visual novel backgrounds and sprites. You can just tell. And you may be asking, right? Why aren't you reading the lyrics? I don't think I'm gonna glean that much from it, man. I think the sub work is admirable for something that's this bad as well. Like, I like the fonts here, I like the font up the top as well. I think the mechs from this are called Skelter Waves. We get a couple names here. This is Masaki, which I'm sure they said at some point, but I kind of went in one ear and out the other, if I'm honest. This is Rin, of course. Hello, Rin. That's Konami, that's Midori, and that's Ayaka. Sure. I know nothing about those last three. As you can see here, a bunch more screenshots from what I'm imagining is the game, the PS2 game, as well as this house and stuff. So, okay, if we just pop back here, again, this looks like a certain type of game, and people may get enjoyment out of that, and that's fine. It's a visual novel. Seems a horny one at that. But at least it knows what it is, and it's going to give you time to be invested with these people and go on dates and whatever else, right? That's how this is supposed to work, right? Lots of cleavage, lots of upskirts, lots of the good stuff. This is what we came for. I just think this doesn't even, like, please the degens, is my point here. It's just too short and not too focused on its plot, which is nonsense. Again, loads more visual novel stuff in the imagery there. The only little bits of animation we get in the opening are pieces of animation that are also used in the rest of the OVA. I guess there's the other thing mech design-wise, so it's giving Darling in the Franxx as well, which is kind of funny. There's the wings. They sprout wings, angels, angel-devil dichotomy. You know, what does that speak to when we talk about the next evolution of humanity and synthetics and all this kind of thing? How can they be cognizant of religious imagery and that kind of thing? I think, again, I'm thinking about this way too deeply. I think they're just throwing some shit together. Honestly, I think they are. So now we get a news report. This guy will come back at the end of the OVA, creating some kind of circular logic to it all. Maybe they actually did edit this thing okay. I don't know. He's basically just saying, the entity's here. Oh no, everyone panic. They're deploying, like, military things and blah 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 blah. Here's this guy. He's like main character kun. And we have sounded off the red alert. You know, this is a danger. It's in, you know, Japanese airspace or whatever the hell. We're gonna need to focus on that. Speaking of focusing on that, there's eyeline, by the way. Don't know about all that. So listen, because I like talking about Evangelion, let's talk about the angels in Evangelion. And I guess why it's important to think about things a little bit more. And why they're attacking, I guess. So, again, Evangelion has this thing with repetition over time. There will be more and more angel attacks over time, and Shinji and Ko will think that this is a worse and worse idea, and they'll keep doing weird shit, and they'll keep, you know, mixing up the formula and doing a bunch of other shit, right? That's how Evangelion works. And all the while, you're questioning, why are we even doing this? What do the angels want? And what does Gendo have to do with it? These are all questions that should be in your mind in Evangelion, right? That's its shtick. That's what it's trying to do. This, it's trying to pack all of that meaning into one encounter in 15 minutes. Which is insanity. Cool, so Entity is here. We've sent off Rin to go collect the others. This guy sucks. We don't like whoever this guy is on the bridge. Let's call him Gendo. It's Gendo. Hello, Gendo. That's one huge sucker. Let's deploy the weapon against them, I guess. Basically, he just says, are you ready? Let's deploy the girls. Then we hop over, we see a couple of establishing shots. We get this very visual novel-y music, right? And here's the thing. You can't introduce world-shattering conflict early doors here, right? An entity from outer space is here. Literally, alien has invaded, right? And then do your slice of life character setup-y stuff. Everything lacks a sense of urgency before it. And again, all you need to do is just move this around a little bit. This is what I mean editing-wise, right? Why isn't all this stuff... Again, why is it so short as well? Because it's barely, like, a minute before we get into mud wrestling, and then we're into it, right? Like... mud wrestling, by the way. Why don't you put this at the start? And then go into the entity is approaching, and then go into... Like, do you see what I mean? That would get us invested in the characters and their little stories and that kind of thing, and then a threat would appear. Oh no, there's a threat to our commonplace stuff we have going on, our everyday life. Literally, as we're doing, like, the most leisurely activities possible, we get emergency summons. These are some of the only lines that these characters have. So those two characters over there, right, just chilling, talking about archery or whatever. We have these two characters over here engaging in some form of training, I guess. They're just training with the mechs. And then, okay, let's talk some editing, right? All right, let's slow this down a bit. Hang on. Cool, so now we're at half speed. Let's play. Cool, so we're revving up the engines, getting started, all that kind of thing, right? You know, lots of quick cuts to the mech, lots of description of what it's doing, right? Another wide, just showing the mech. Here I come. Couple zooms, followed in by a wide shot again. They hit each other. You're so aggressive, Misaki. True. You're one to talk. Barely, like, finishes that sentence. We get 4 frames of Rin running on screen to warn them that there's actually an emergency summons or whatever the hell. Before there's another 2 cuts in very quick succession there, including whatever the hell that is. I'm guessing that's just some ecchi fucking bullshit. And then I get this 2D effect over the CG too here, right? That 2D effect followed by this one too, that just looks like garbage. And of course, the overall point of any of this happening is so we can have the 2 girls that aren't in much clothes mud wrestle, essentially. And they didn't even do that right. It's not even ecchi enough. Maybe a little bit, I don't know. But not in the, ballpark you would want it to be if you were that way inclined. Anyway, let's go back to normal speed. This is what I mean, editing. Why were there so many cuts? Why did we need to establish that she was running over here? Why wouldn't we just interpret that anyway? Insanity. That's insane. All in the service of fan service that it's not even very good at. So yeah, while we're mud wrestling there, she says we got the call up, and oh my god, there's a literal alien in the sky. Let's actually go up and do something about it. Nope, actually, instead, we're gonna shower. Because we're mud wrestling, remember? We need to shower. Are you planning to stay in there forever? What was that? Why is this dialogue? Why? You have 15 minutes to tell your story. You have 15 minutes. Why is there dialogue about a character not hearing a line whilst in the shower? Why are we showing the character showering that shouldn't even need a shower? Was she not already clean? Did she not have a shower in the morning? Why do I care so much about this? Why wouldn't you show one of the characters that was just mud wrestling showering? That would make more sense. Let's talk about the eyes. It's just not quite there. Again, just kind of, there's that one eye that's just a little bit lazy. Just a little bit lazy. She's not kind of looking at anything. She just kind of looks fucked. Cool. Let's talk about editing again. What the fuck is this for a start? Who is this? Holy shit. Okay, hang on. So she's thinking in the shower. Oh man, it's been 5 years, huh? 5 whole years, huh? She is watching on in horror or something as 2 characters are pounded by machines. Kind of. In a very suggestive way, in a very ecchi type way. It's been 5 years since I met you, main character Kun. And then slam, straight out of that was, let's go back here. That was barely 10 seconds, right? Barely 10 seconds of content before we're straight back into it. We're all dressed and we're all on the bridge ready for action. What are you doing? And I guess this is the folly. You know, there's an unexpected entity. Take it out at all cost. That is why you've been summoned here. Synthetic humans that are supposedly under our control. What you see is an enemy. Look at the size of that behemoth. And they're saying something about it needing to recharge? How do you know that? It's an alien. What do you mean? That's what we're up against? A lot of this too, so let me just play it even though I'm on 2 times speed. Like, see the eyes going there? Just like, we will have 2 or 3 very basic frames of animation and then just loop through them. Loop through them, bit of hair movement, bit of eye movement, just loop continuously. It'll give it the illusion of movement. So clearly these girls are like weapons of JDSF. This guy here is a commanding officer. He's been talking at least with Rin for a little bit. That's what I can gather, or at least assume. And this is just pointless. Like, you must locate the weak point and eliminate the target. We will get close range and then probe into it with a bazooka. What? You're not showing a weak point either? It's just kind of like, there's no frame of reference for what the objective is of the next action scene. We're gonna try to shoot it with a gun. That's what you just told me. Huh? Why is this in the show? And here comes the drama of this scene, I guess. Rin is going to take point. And you get, again, like 2 frames of the other one, Misaki, wanting to, like, interrupt, if I can even find it. Right here. So, Kaicho! Like 1 step forward there. And then, no, we're red alert. We can't talk about this anymore. So again, only upon the military appearing and attacking it does it start to shoot at the tentacles and stuff, and they start to move. And then everyone's horrified. And it's like, oh no, we need to kill it. You guys were the aggressors there. Again, I think this is the point, but I don't want to give, again, Skelter+Heaven too much credit there. So now we get the continuation from that scene that was literally 2 seconds before. Misaki can't accept this. She was meant to be the strongest. She wants to be on point. She wants to kill the hardest, or whatever the hell. You know, it's just maybe the most generic character conflict that you could have in such a show. Why did authority pick them over me? No, literally more depth in, like, shows for children. This clearly isn't for children. What are we doing here? And I guess, okay, so Misaki accuses them of foul play. Like, you two clearly like each other, or clearly have some kind of bond. That's why you want her to be on point. That's why you're going to go out and try to save the day, or whatever the hell later on, right? And Misaki knows this. Like, says you fine sending her out there. Clearly you care about her. She may be in danger, blah, 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 blah. I don't let my personal feelings get in the way of my work. There's more setup to this supposed romance as well. And again, almost taking a sacrificial role here, right? Okay, so now I want to be on point so that you and Rin can be happy together. Okay, again, probably better executed in more time than literally like 20 seconds that we get here. And yeah, you're a loose cannon, you're acting your own authority, that's why I can't trust you with this mission. All that shit. Then this just violent shaking here. Like, just the nadir of animation, right? Just terrible. Either way, Misaki goes out there with a bit of a chip on her shoulder. She's going to try to prove that she's better than Rin, of course. Cool, so then we have everyone hopping into their mechs, and we repeat this animation a couple of times, just them kind of launching out, right? Think Evangelion, think Evil One shooting up through the roof or whatever. Rin's thinking to herself that, hey, maybe Misaki's right, she's a better fighter than I am, but I really want to live up to his expectations that he's put on me, so I'm going to do my best in this role. And once this is over, I'm going to really tell him how I feel. This whole time as well, we have dude, main character Kun. He's in like a plane, right? And again, this doesn't really... Okay, so the establishing shot is here. That looks like a plane to me. But I don't really see how the plane is correlated to his movements and dialogue later on, so maybe it's just edited poorly. Or maybe I'm wrong about this, I don't know. Cool, so now we have engaged the enemy very, very quickly. Like, Misaki flies straight up to the enemy. The enemy, again, that was shown before, tentacles going through helicopters and whatever, just lets a mech land on it? That doesn't make any sense. She's already got the bazooka in hand. She's already going to try to do something, right? Or probe, I guess. Because you're going to plant the probe and someone else is going to do the bazooka. I don't know how any of this works. It doesn't fucking matter. And no, you're probing to scan it. And then once we scan it, we're going to know something about it, find its weak point, and then be able to shoot it with bazooka. I think that's how this is working. So again, atrocious editing. Cool, let's break this down. So, okay, we see Glasses-chan look up. There's green goo coming out of the probe, I'm guessing, right? This surprises Misaki, who would have been the first person to see it regardless, and then one of the tentacles flies and donks her on the fucking head. So what did the goo have to do with anything, right? The way that Glasses-chan looked at it implied that the goo would be the responsibility for her falling to the ground. But that's not what happened. A tentacle came out of nowhere and did that. Why even have the goo? The goo doesn't make any sense. And now we have like some terrible clipping in the audio, just like the screams just sound really fake and terrible, don't match up with the animation, and are way high in the mix and really shrill. This one in particular is like really bad. Again, I know you guys don't have audio, but like you lamenting the fact that you've lost Midori and Misaki and whatever the hell, right, to these tentacles. Ignore it, focus on the target. But Misaki, follow your orders. Ah! And then she just screams? That's not how humans act. Again, not a human, but you know what I mean. Like, that's not how anybody would react in that situation. Either way, we have analyzed the angel in question, and we're going to attack its angel core. Correct my nomenclature if I'm wrong. Again, Gendo Akari at home. Again, the folly of man, which is punished in the end of the thing, right, is on display here as well. There's no time to get all emotional. Focus on the mission at hand. Just kill for us. Don't feel any sympathy for your friends, or for me, or for anything else. You need to militaristically focus on the objective. Again, all this comes back to bite him in the end. It's just so quick. It's so quick. You truly do need to watch Skelter+Heaven multiple times to understand the story. And that's what makes it one of the greats, I feel. Cool, so there's tentacles sprouting off the tentacles. They look terrible. Also, these... What is this background? Is this just like a fucking PNG? What's going on here? Either way, the tentacles grab main character Kun and throw him away, right? And that's going to cause Rin to do something stupid. Yeah, essentially Rin tries to go after him. Again, the editing doesn't really display this very well, so throws him over there, right? We never really show, like, Rin landing on it, and now Rin is being peppered with tentacles because she jumped onto the plane to save her boyfriend or whatever the hell. And now she's screaming again, which is good. And now, perfect time, right? There's no, like, nobody goes unconscious, there's not a lull in the action or anything, right? There's not even like a crash to the ground implying that somebody would go unconscious. We're just going to do exposition here. Not framed as a dream sequence, not framed as anything, right? Just pure exposition out of nowhere. Horrendous editing. The worst you could maybe do it, it's like it's out of order. Why is this not the intro? Why is this not, for some reason, explored during the slice of lifey stuff that's around here? Like, what the fuck are we doing, guys? So this is literally, in the timeline that we have out here, this is end of Act 2. We're now learning about the origins of whatever this character is. Let's be charitable and say it's supplementary material to the game, and you may already know elements of the premise. Then why is this even here? We shouldn't need to know this, right? What are we doing? Either way, synthetic humans, we've developed them. They're in this pool. Rei Ayanami. Anyway, point being, as it develops, its intelligence will surpass that of humans, but for right now we need to teach it love and not hate, right? However, they will be intelligent, have physical prowess, their true latent capabilities are unknown. We're going to use them as weapons. Evil man. Hello, evil man. These things in particular are currently docile, but there's no telling what could happen if they ever turned us against them. So what I want you to do, main character Kun, is keep them in line. Cool. And now we cut back to her screaming again, even though she's not screaming, just to tell you we're back in current day. And then there's a cut to black. And then there's more flashback. Did they let, like... It's either a child or some kind of animal in the editing booth to do this. That is... You would have to try to make it that bad. Why cut back to current day with no audio after this flashback just to cut to black again and show another flashback, right? With the first line being, Captain, how long do I have to live? And then again, this really complicated conversation, right? you know, transhumanism. What makes a human human? What is death to these things? What is a soul to these things? Are they scared of dying? All these things, right? Let's just brush over it in maybe 20 seconds. One of the most broad and important ideas in both sci-fi and philosophy. Fuck it. Nah, 20 seconds. That's all we got. Either way, this is the justification for why both main character Kun and Rin care about each other at all. However, the only indicator that we get as to why this scene is romantic at all and why these two characters care about each other is all aesthetic. It is a classroom. They are in school uniforms. It is sunny outside. My brain knows to fill in the blanks and go, oh yeah, this is very visual novel dating simmy, right? Like this would be a conversation in a game about such things. My brain's filling in the blanks. In a vacuum, this is horrendous. Why do these two people care about each other? Like, all he says is, this is pointless chit-chat. You need to follow orders. And there's not even a sense of guilt or enjoyment to any of this, or pulling himself back into line or anything. There's just nothing on this whole entire character. He sucks. He's terrible. Like, follow orders. No chit-chat. Your orders are final. You don't have an insubordinate bone in your body, do you? Again, if there was meant to be a guilty-esque tone to this, right? Like he needs to pull himself back in line because of his role and is a little bit embarrassed as to why he's falling for her so hard. They don't get that across. Also nice, another derpy look, which is good. Before we cut straight back to like very loud screaming falling through the air. The third time we've cut back to such a thing. So either way, now we see Plane has fallen off of her mech. Cool. And Rin must focus. Don't focus on main character Kun in the plane. You have to focus on the tentacle hell that we currently find ourselves in. And nah, she's put herself back into line now. She's all good. And despite it all, Rin's going to try to fight harder. And main character Kun, he's going to sacrifice it all, right? He's essentially putting himself in the place of Rin, right? He's trying to sacrifice himself for her betterment. He knows the weak spot has been decided. He's in a plane. He's going to try to take it out. Now, he gets a little bit of a flashback, right, to the rest of the events that we never saw, all the good times that we never saw. And again, this is his big moment. This is his turn to put love over hate, right? But in the same vein, still kill the alien. I don't know, put his love on the line for the synthetic human. I love you as much as a real human. I told myself I was just doing my job. I coped with it all by convincing myself of that. As we see various activities that these people are doing, in very provocative suits, of course. But thinking back on it, all I can see is their smiles. I care about the emotional side instead of the minutiae of the technical side of my job. It turns out that human love, after all, trumps human hate. Who would have thought? Very, very profound indeed. And he says, that's why, and then he's going to drive his ship straight into it, and then Rin's going to try and stop him. And now she's going to confess while they're in this, precarious situation, right? See, I'll give them one thing. There was a planting back here that she said she was going to confess, right? That's what she wanted to do. And then there's a payoff over here that she confessed. That's pretty good. That's the bare minimum. Okay. It is coherent. Sometimes. Plus points. There is a tick in its favor. Either way, the whole time the animation is just a few frames going back and forth of her hair fluttering and barely mouth flaps. And yeah, here's my favorite part, right? So she's been doing it all because she loves main character Kun, right? And he gives her nothing. Nothing at all here, right? There is this kind of a look of sadness and trepidation because of it. And again, they're still en route to the weak spot, right? He gives her nothing. We cut over to Masaki, who is now going to go in first ahead of them. And we're going to try to stop Masaki from doing so, but she's going to sacrifice herself in the place of everybody else. And this is a big sacrifice scene, right? But is it? Because not really. We just kind of cut it. Everyone's just kind of attacking at once. This part is borderline incoherent, right? And I've kind of been like guessing what happens based on I didn't really remember what fucking happened. Like, okay, so let's try to get some colors here. This is Masaki taking the lead here, right? Zooming in. Tentacles after her, she's zooming away through that explosion, but then Rin still gets through there somehow. We're looking at Rin right now. Rin and someone else who isn't Masaki are both here, and we both just cut something, and then the Skelter Titan and Skelter+Heaven have penetrated the target. Okay, cool. In 2 different spots. Maybe one was attacking up here near the eye, and another one was attacking down here near the tentacle. Sure. Either way, we both attacked, right? There was some green goo, and now I'm in the ghost realm. Why? I don't know. For some reason, cutting it on its tentacle gives us access to its neurocore. We're speaking directly into its mind, or it's speaking directly into our mind, excuse me. It's true that some humans are slaves to their emotions. I'd say that all humans are at some level. And yes, their history is a vicious cycle of destruction with no end in sight. Also true, also kind of based, if I think about it. But apparently that's only one side of humanity. The humanity that I know is also full of love. So again, this alien visits Earth for whatever reason. It gets attacked on sight. It's like, okay, I'm going to defend myself. Then there's some kind of neurocore thing where some synthetic human, not even a real human, is like, humans alright, you just caught them on a bad day where they attacked you on sight. And because of that, because the alien poses threat to humans, apparently, we have to defeat you, even though, you know, we attacked you first, but that's fine. And again, I have to defeat you not for the sake of mankind, but for the one person I care about the most. Of course, that being main character Kun. I fight for that one man. And yeah, we destroy its neural core, or whatever the hell, and it falls out of the sky and dies. And main character Kun's okay, which is good. However, he still has this uneasy look on his face. Never really did respond to any of that shit. I guess, okay, okay, I'm getting something here, right? I'm guessing that some of the girls died in the process? Because there's blood on the max. That makes sense? Yeah, very hurt in the process, sure. And then it's kind of like rusted up here. What the fuck is that? It looks like it's made of fucking... looks horrendous. It looks like it's made of like blown up balloons that have been deflated. So okay, I think what we're implying here is that Rin and co died. I think. They weren't defective in and of themselves. I think he's talking about the synthetic humans here, right? After getting a phone call confirming some things. The problem lies in how we humans used them, right? They're not defective, they don't die on thingo, blah, 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 blah. We just use them for war, and that's why we suck. And then, okay, I have Funagai, or whatever the fuck, main character Kun. I have his phone details, which I'm going to delete his contact in the phone, or delete his file. So are we trying to cover up the whole synthetic human thing? Is that what he's doing there? And then we get 1 year later, we get reacquainted with TV presenter man, where they're back and they bought a bunch of cronies, right? I hope mankind's okay. I hope we have another weapon that's good enough to defeat all of these, because it seems our major weapon just died. Again, for all intents and purposes, Rin is the main character. Rin gets an off-screen death, which is heavily implied. The other main character is main character Kun, and he just gets his phone contact deleted and gets to look worried off in the distance. There's no payoff to anything. Any of the two major... Even Misaki, right? Who was seemingly trying to sacrifice herself in the place of the two lovers, knowing that she would never get picked or whatever the hell, because harem. She goes off and does that and ends up on a hospital bed, and then we don't see her again. We end on a... basically... this guy looking into the camera and telling you the moral, which is the only reason why I can tell you the moral, by the way. And then humanity dies. They get invaded by aliens and die. I don't think that would be the ending of the game. I hope not. It's a very bleak ending for something that doesn't need to be bleak at all. Okay, so listen, on multiple levels this sucks. Let me go through them. On one level, this is an Evangelion. It's not even close. It's not even in the same universe, right? So you're not going to do the transhumanism, you know, why do we fight for these people that are above us? What are these forces impacting on us? Why are we doing mech stuff, philosophy, the human condition type stuff that Evangelion's doing? Not even the same ballpark. So you fail on that level. Okay, let's say that this is just like a really trashy sci-fi harem thing, right? A lot of fan service, very ecchi, that kind of thing. I think it fails in that regard too. It has a downer fucking ending. The characters all suck. The ecchi's not even that good. And it's not a good harem because I only know about two of the girls. I don't even know what the rest are. I said at the start, I like the one with glasses. I want to meet the one with glasses some more. I think maybe she had 2 lines. So, I mean, I think I've shit on this fucking 18-minute thing long enough. I'm just going to leave it there, I think. I don't really need to look at this ED, which is comprised of seemingly just straight-up shots from the visual novel again. Can I say anything nice about Skelter+Heaven? I like the opening and the ending. I think the songs are pretty neat. It's funny. The editing's funny because of how bad it is. How you would almost need to be trying to make it that bad in some spots. Hopefully I've highlighted those well enough. Other than that, I just think it fails on just about every level. And if you're fascinated in the construction of media like I am, then you'll find such a thing fascinating as a result. Don't get me wrong, I had a great time sitting down here today. It just sucks. It really fucking sucks. It's terrible. And of course everybody knew that. Again, I think we're bearing the lead by calling this like, oh, it's like funny bad. Again, I think this is a very hard one to meme on, right? Because again, as I explained in the start, there's no really atrocious like 10-second blocks. Unless you mean like the mud wrestling part, which was pretty bad. Like I went in hard on basically like from here through to like here because it's some of the worst television I've ever seen in my entire life. That you could clip out. That's clippable. The rest of this is just incoherent nonsense most of the time. There's also the part with the 2 flashbacks in close succession. I guess one of the flashbacks is for main character Kun and the other one's for Rin. I don't know, man. I guess this shit just kind of sucks. It turns out the worst thing on Mal is actually pretty bad. So that's what I discovered here today.
I guess I should talk about one other thing, which I guess is intent. So, again, this is an OVA, not on TV, blah, 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 blah. It's not really intended for an audience that isn't already familiar with the game. I've kind of said my piece on it a little bit during the rest of the video. I think that it fails as supplementary material as well, mostly because it's not good fan service and it doesn't do the plot justice. So either this is an isolated plot that is different from the plot of the game that has a massive fucking downer ending that's terrible, or this is a literal adaptation of the plot of the game, and at that point you should have just played the game and would know the plot anyway, and would have it expressed in a way better medium and time period, or amount of time watching, let's say. It's still bad. It's still bad as supplementary material, because I've seen the argument, again, I did a bit more reading on it, that, hey, this one's a little bit weird to shit on because it's not meant to be seen by a layman. It's, again, supplementary material, but I think I've expressed enough that I think it fails even in that regard. I can't think of a fan of the Skelter+Heaven video game that would find enjoyment in this. Let's put it that way.
I don't know how the video came out, but I had fun sitting here right now, so if you guys have more suggestions of just some outright terrible stuff we can watch together, that'd be great. I like doing this kind of stuff. Either way, I guess I'm closing up for today. Sorry again for the bit of an abrupt video, a bit of a quick one, but again, I had a lot of fun. Let's do some show stuff and get out of here, shall we? So if you like the video, consider liking the video. If you like the video and you want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel. Comment below anything you thought about the episode, anything I can do to improve my presentation, comment below. I'm doing follow for follow on Twitter, so follow me on Twitter if you'd like me to follow you back, and the Discord. Join Discord, love Discord, Discord. And yeah, I'll be back next week with whatever the hell. This was a fun one-off, and I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. Bye-bye.